Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Mashin Zabyun from Mashin Sentai Kiramager. This is the newest mech to debut on the show, probably about an episode or two ago. I believe this was originally supposed to be the movie mech because the movie mech is usually a slightly retooled, repainted version of an already existing mech, and I think they kind of just moved this up into the show because the movie got delayed until next year. I think it's like February of next year. So the toy is probably on the same release schedule it was always on. So to coincide with the summer movie, it was going to come out now anyway. And Bandit doesn't really change around the toy release schedule when stuff gets delayed. We saw it with 01, the 02 driver, and everything just came out like normal, even though it wasn't on the show yet. So here this is, but I'm kind of glad they put it in the TV show. It gets more use out of it. I think this is pretty cool, so I'm glad that it's getting more than just the movie debut. But it is kind of a shark train, so you probably recognize the Smog Jokey train, just slightly retooled and repainted into a shark, which is kind of fun. Taking a look on top, you have a nice group shot of the Kiramagers there. Not too much going on the bottom, not really too much going on the sides. It's just kind of the picture wrapping around. If we spin around to the back, of course, we have our new mecha. Now, you can't form this straight out of the box. You do need Express from the previous set with Smog Jokey. So, you know, if you thought you could get out of not buying the Smog Jokey set, unfortunately, you do need to buy, I guess, technically the King Express set to get the Express mecha there, the train. And you can see that they all connect together down here, which, of course, we'll take a look at. It boasts that it is 525 millimeters. Which is almost, what, half a meter, so we're probably looking at 2 feet, 1.75 feet, 1.5 feet, somewhere in there. I'm not great at converting things. I just know what a meter stick's like 3 feet, so if it's a little over half a meter, you do the math. Anyway, you also have the jewel form. He can hold the whole train as like a spear. He can use it as a bazooka. He can use it as 2 handheld weapons. They put a lot more functionality into this one than it seems like they did with Smog Jokey, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. And then when you combine it together, it's 700 millimeters, so that is a ton of millimeters. I can't even tell you. So let's go ahead, let's get this guy out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the 3 pieces you get in the box. You can see you kind of have the front end, the tail end, and then you have the midsection here. And I do think it's kind of funny because you can really see the robot legs. They just stick straight up, but it's okay. The red stripe down the side I think looks really sharp. To connect these up, it's very simple. You just have this little spot right here. Connection goes right there. Clips in, and it's sturdy. I mean, it's not going anywhere. The connection is much more solid than the one for Smog Jokey. So then you want to flip up the shark fin. And then you come over here, it's the exact same kind of connection port, so you just pop that on. And there you go. There is your giant shark train. This piece spins. I don't think there's anything that activates the spinning. Like, there are wheels down here, but it's not tied to it, so you just spin it yourself. You can see the little robot head covers just hanging out there on the back. Not super well hidden, but not bad. I love the crazy shark eyes in the mouth. Very, very cool. I love that design. Taking a look at this side. Less exciting, but still looks okay. We can bring in, where's Express? There's this peg on the back. Peg's right in there, so boom. You can go ahead and connect that. And I mean, that's just a ridiculously long, I think this is 700 millimeters, so that's over 2 feet long. That's crazy. Alright, so we'll take that off. I wanted to do a comparison real quick with Smog Jokey. So just to show you what I was talking about before with the connections, like these connections were not as solid. Like they worked, but I felt like if you shook it enough, you see what I'm saying? If you move this little piece at all, like the connection just completely falls off. So it works, but it's not as good. This one, I feel like no matter what I do, it's not coming apart. But you can see that they're about the same length. But because the connections are different, you can't mix and match cars. So if you were trying to mix and match train cars, unfortunately, you will not be able to do that. But you can see that they are about the same length. So that's pretty cool. Alright, the next thing I want to show you, I'm just doing some quick behind the scenes transformation here, don't mind me. If we take this apart and we fold the fin back down, and then we take this piece off and fold this down and peg that in, and then this will tab in here. And basically how it works is there's a tiny little tab slot right there, and then the clip, and so then this little tab, and this just rests in there. It's just to kind of line it up. So like that's the clip that just kind of rests in there. But there is the jewel mode, and there is the Smog Jokey jewel mode to compare it. I feel like this one's a little bit more cohesive as far as the combination. Like this looks more like a rectangular prism all the way around, a little bit more cohesive. This one's a little bit more open, but not a big deal. Still looks pretty cool. And you really can just see like the robot feet chilling out here, but overall, I think they look pretty good. So with Smog Jokey, you had the jewel mode, you had the train mode, you had the like Godzilla, T-Rex mode, whatever you want to call it, and then you had the robot mode. Unfortunately, this guy does not have that middle like animal form. He's got, of course, the jewel mode, then he's got the shark train, it's kind of a fusion, and then you have the robot mode. So he does not have that extra, you know, animal mode to show you. But he does have some pretty cool things that we can do as far as weapons and such for Kiramager. So let's go ahead and check those out. Now we're just going to use Land Mage. I like Land Mage better. So we got Land Mage here. Now the cool thing with these, they added in all these extra little like flip out pieces so you can use them as weapons. So if you flip this out here, you can see there's a little peg. You peg that into his hand, and then boom, you got bazooka mode. So that's pretty cool. Then you can take this off, flip this back in, put the shark head on the end, like so. And then you flip out this piece, which is like a handle, and then you put this in his hand, and it's crazy long, but it's like a spear that he can hold. And I mean, it looks ridiculous because it's like ridiculously hard for him to hold, but I still love it. So I'm glad that they did it. It's super dumb, but I appreciate it. The other thing you can do, which is pretty cool, and I like this mode a lot, take this off, just kind of put this off to the side. This has a piece that flips around like that, and then you can go ahead and put this in his hand like a gun. And you can flip the fin up or leave it down, whatever you prefer aesthetically. And then this has the same thing, flips around. So that's awesome. I mean, he's got these two giant blasters. Very, very cool. I love that. And all they had to do is add these simple little flip around pegs. It's so smart and so simple, and I love it. And they've done such a good job. Very, very cool. Now, the other thing you could do, you could take this off, and you could use either of these as arms. You could do that with Smog Jokey. You can do it here because that's the same port. So you have a little bit of interchangeability there. And like I said, you can't take this arm off, but you could do something like that. Anywhere else you could plug in Shovelo. So like on Gigant Driller, I'm not going to bring it out, but you know, anywhere where it's that same port, you can plug these in. So you could give him this as like a shoulder cannon on Gigant Driller because he's got that peg over here that you could peg it on there. So that would be pretty cool. So there's a little bit of playability there. Not a ton, but at least a little bit. All right, so let's get into the robot transformation here. We are going to need Express from the Smog Jokey set, from the King Express set. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start making this available separately. Like maybe towards the end of the show, just sell this by itself. That way if you want to display them both at the same time, or people who didn't buy or maybe missed out on the Smog Jokey set. I don't know if it's going to happen. I feel like at first they would hold off to make you buy both, and then later on I could see them selling just this separately towards the very end. That way if you want a second one, but don't quote me on that. It's like a pure speculation, but we'll see what happens. So you're going to go ahead, make your pants Very simple. Gonna take Express, split him in half. Go ahead, give him his waist. You're going to open this up. And then this clips on here. Move the camera up. Then you're going to take this. Now again, you can leave this out. You can push it in, whatever you like. This always pops off. I always just think of it as like battle damage. Like it's so easy to pop off. It's like one of those old toys where you like hit the missile with the spring and then it's like, oh no, battle damage. That really does pop off way too easily. We're going to go ahead, take this headpiece off. This just kind of slides out like so. Then you're going to take this, peg this on the other arm. The head will probably pop off again. Hey, we kept it on. All right, so if you wanted, you could leave it like this. But how this works is there's a very tiny little groove set. Here, you know what? This comes off so easily. Let's just look at it. So you can see it's right here. So you just take this, and this kind of clips on there in that little groove. Perfect. And then you can pop it back on. And there you go. And that new head really does look cool. I like it a lot. And the color scheme is very cohesive. So like I really feel like this looks good. Not that the Smog Jokey one didn't look cool, because I did like that as well. But the color scheme here is just so much more cohesive that I think it looks even better. Articulation's still just the arm movement. That's really all you have. Although I guess you have a little bit of a waist, I guess. I never thought about that before. It kind of gets stuck, but a little bit. Could you kind of, yeah, you can do it. You just kind of have to, you might have to like take it off and then move it and put it back on. But you could do it. The legs are one solid piece, so nothing's going on there, but you have nice sparkly. I like the idea they kind of put the like gray sparkle paper underneath and then put the clear plastic on top. It works. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, the red stripe is really sharp. I like that a lot. So yeah, he looks really good. Like I said, limited articulation. And I guess technically if you wanted to peg something into this, you could. You can't raise those up too much or he will pop off. Oh, bent. There we go. But yeah, this spins. So again, you can use that as kind of a weapon. But yeah, overall, I think he looks pretty cool. Now, the only other thing you could do, you could pop these arms off, and you could do a little bit of arm swapping. If we pop this on and this on, you could switch those arms out. I think that looks kind of neat. You have the open mouth, pull out my chainsaw hand. So that's kind of cool. Plus it introduces some of the black and purple to just, you know, mix up the color scheme a little bit. It's kind of neat. Or I also kind of like dueling animal heads. So you got the T-Rex head, you got the shark head. I guess technically because the hand is on the other side, you have to switch these, but you get the idea. So again, you have a little bit of fun there. And I guess technically you could also bring Shovelo in. He looks a little dinky, but especially compared to this giant arm here. Does he look better with the shark? A little bit. A little bit. Still looks kind of tiny. But I just think it's fun. I mean, obviously we would have liked all these mecha to combine or do something together, which it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen at all. We basically just got four? Yeah. 4 separate mecha. And really this guy kind of counts as half because you can't form him and King Express at the same time. So kind of, I would say 3 solid separate mecha that do not really combine in any way. No, I do not count when they glued their backs together in that episode because you could glue any 2 toys together. It doesn't count as a combination. So it's a shame. It's a shame that they didn't really have any kind of cohesiveness to them. They didn't have any kind of large combination. I'm watching RPM right now, and I always look to G12 as like the perfect way to do it. Like you have 3, you put them together, you make 6, then you have another 3, put them together to make 9, another 3, put them together to make 12, but all 3 can be 4 separate on their own. It's a perfect system. It's perfect. So much fun. I wish we could get something like that again. But in the meantime, you have some arm swapping options. That's about the most interconnectivity you're going to have with these three mecha. But individually, I still think they look neat. I totally think this is worth a pickup. I love the Shark Train. I think the colors look really sharp. The paint's nice. I love all the extra little like clips and handles and flip down things that they put in so that you can make like a full artillery out of this guy. You got a bazooka, you got a spear, you got two handheld guns. The Shark Train looks awesome. The Jewel mode looks really cool. I love this combination with Express. I do appreciate that they tell you right on the box, look, you will need both of these. Oh, well, I guess technically you don't need this one, but I guess it's telling you it's got compatibility with these two. But, you know, it's at least telling you that you're not going to be able to make this robot with just what's in this box. Now, I wish, like I said, that they'll release a separate one of these so that people who just want this can then buy that and they don't have to get Smog Jokey. But honestly, I thought Smog Jokey was a good time. I know a lot of people kind of dumped on it, but I thought it was fun. I mean, it's a giant T-Rex. And now I'm just going to leave him like this and then put the T-Rex next to him. And I got the best of both worlds. I got the cool robot and the T-Rex at the same time. That's what I need. So I think it's cool. I think this thing's really neat. I don't really have too much to complain about. I mean, sure, you know, this headpiece pops off, but that was a problem with Express from before, so it's not really worth complaining again. You know, the limited articulation, and of course the fact that none of these mecha really combine together, but you have some arm swapping options which can, you know, give you a little bit of playability. Overall, it's a cool robot. I still think you should check it out. I mean, it's a Shark Train. Come on. Who doesn't love a Shark Train? Let's be honest. So yeah, check them out. DX Mashin Zabyun. And also, doesn't Zabyun sound like something like the Gabu revolver would shout out? I don't know, it's just me. Anyway, definitely cool. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.